This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Rob Cline from Hancher at the University of Iowa. Still smells new.
It does. Still has that new auditorium smell.
And you've got a couple of events coming up. One of them this weekend, which marks the return of some familiar faces.
That's right. The return
the auditorium
of our friend Tomas Kubinek, who, if you have never seen Tomas, you really need to take advantage of this opportunity. Tomas is, I call him a neo-vaudevillian. He calls himself a master of the impossible and a certified lunatic. So, you know, tomato.
Somewhere in the middle. I was trying to describe him to someone, and I've had a chance to interview and meet him a couple of times.
Sure.
Not saying you're a poor substitute.
No, well,
or anything
I
like
sort of
that,
am, actually.
But for people of a certain age, if I said he's the Czech red skeleton.
Ah, I like that. The Czech red skeleton. He should put that in his materials. He's this bundle of energy with great training as a clown and in physical comedy, and he puts together these amazing shows. And what he's loved to do for the last several years, really in collaboration with Hancher and with Orchestra Iowa, is put together shows that feature a collision of comedy and classical music. And so some of the listeners may remember Professor Kubinek Meets the Symphony from a few years back.
That was a blast. That was so much fun.
Yes, well, and you get Tim Hankewich and Tomas Kubinek together, and
Tim
anything could happen.
Tim is so serious.
Yes,
and,
yes, that's how we think of him. As a very serious fellow.
You just can't get him out of that orchestra box at all.
That's right. That's right. You can hardly break him out of his shell at all. So, but Tomas has a way. So we got them together, and then as we were opening the new facility, we thought, well, what if we got Tomas and Tim together again? But how could it be bigger? What could we do that would be even bigger? And so we've invited the university choirs to be a part of this production, and also our friend Wycliffe Gordon, the great jazz trombonist, to up the ante on Professor Kubinek Meets the Symphony in a new production called Pomp, Brass, and Lunacy.
And didn't Wycliffe write some new music for this?
He did. He wrote some new music. In fact, one of the things I'll let you in on, he wrote a very moving song about Hancher itself that we're very excited that will be premiered at this performance. It won't be one of the more comedic moments, but it will be one of the more touching moments of the performance. We're very excited to hear that.
Wycliffe also has been a great friend to the auditorium and a friend to us. He's been here many times, participated in our Corridor Jazz project the last time he was in town, in fact.
Yeah, he's a wonderful fella and a Hancher favorite and a Corridor favorite. I think that he's one of those musicians who every time you see him, he offers up something new, something interesting. He's one of our favorite guys. And so to bring all of these things, a choir, an orchestra, a comedian, a jazz trombonist, and just sort of throw it on the stage and well, I make it sound like we just threw it on the stage, but they've been working on it.
Well, I remember when I got a chance to chat with both of them at one of the construction events.
Sure.
You had brought them in specifically, Tim and Tomas and Wycliffe specifically, to do some planning on this, and that was going on 3 years ago.
Right, exactly. It's interesting. It's easy to not... Well, it's part of the magic of theater, right? It's easy to think that these things just sort of magically happen, but of course they don't. There were, as you say, planning meetings going way back, and how does a trombonist fit into this overall scheme, and what does that look like, and what can we take from the old show, and what do we need to do new, and who's going to figure out which choirs we need, and we have a lot of UI singers coming to this particular show. So we're excited about this culmination of all of that on Saturday night, this Saturday night at 7:30, this Hancher Commission show, Pomp, Brass, and Lunacy.
And that is this Saturday, the 5th of November.
That's right.
I tell you, the biggest problem that I have in talking about this is saying, you can't miss this show.
Right.
And I say that about every show.
Well, it's true.
So cut it out.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. I apologize. But it is a good season, yeah. And we've been very excited to get started with the full range of things that Hancher's always done. We've had our first Broadway show. We've had our first avant-garde cellist. So from sort of the most famous, most popular things people know to the really important moving the artwork forward stuff that we've been known for years. It's fun to do that all in our own space again.
And of course, it's so great to have Hancher have jazz back in the full big auditorium. We had David Sanborn a few weeks ago. Of course, Wycliffe will lend some jazz cred to the upcoming show. And then you've got a jazz concert coming up.
That's right. Next Friday night we have Chucho Valdes. They call themselves the Chucho Valdes Joe Lovano Quintet. So it's the great Cuban pianist Chucho Valdes and the wonderful saxophonist Joe Lovano, with 3 musicians from Cuba backing them up. We've presented both Chucho and Joe before. They both gave really hot concerts. We're excited to see what they do together. This is the first time they've ever worked together, this tour. And so we're very excited about that, and excited to bring this sort of collision of styles in our materials. We've been calling it post-bop Latin jazz. But what we really mean is it will be really fun, and these 2 players are some of the hottest working today, so we're very excited about that.
Well, as you say, both Chucho and Joe have been here. Joe's been here multiple times.
That's true.
You brought him a couple.
Yep.
We had him at the Iowa City Jazz Festival just a 3 years ago, so he's someone we've had a chance to hear in many different forms, but this will be very, very different because of the Latin edge.
Right, exactly. And we presented Chucho during the post-flood period at the Englert in a really memorable concert, and so I'm excited to see what the 2 of them will do together.
Another concert not to be missed.
Right, exactly. Yes, please. The marketing director implores you, please do not miss these concerts.
Well, you can pretty much fill up your social calendar this fall just by doing Hancher events.
That's true. That's true.
Rob would appreciate it if you did.
I would. I should mention just quick, you should get your Nutcracker ticket sooner rather than later because we're running out.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Well, there you go. That's a little
a little hot tip
from the marketing director. So if people need tickets, how do they get them?
They should give us a call at 335-1160 or 800-HANCHER. They can order online at www.hancher.uiowa.edu. Now, this is important. We've been having some problems since we reopened. People have been Googling Hancher and ending up at third-party ticket sites. Make sure you're at the Hancher website if you're going to order online. Only buy Hancher